Yeah, that's your name.
Squirrels got me.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
That's good that you think that of it, because that's what deer hunting typically is cold and fun.
Yesterday morning, I'm glassing up on the pass, and I see these deer moving, and I'm like, ooh, there's deer moving. All of a sudden, I just see this person just head down, just hauling ass, wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a pack on. And I'm like, is that Tard? My dad always talks about floating through the woods like the autumn breeze.
So Robert's
when you're
the ghost, and
275
what's
pounds, I don't know how you do that, but
the Freightliner. It's just like a creeper. You're just kind of up in the corner watching what's going on down there.
yeah,
You know,
he's like,
he's up there slapping it, pissing all over everything.
is it warm yet?
How did you know the name of the actor?
That's I know.
Why did you say his name?
Hervé Villechaize.
You know what pert near means.
If you know what pert near means and you live in America, you're a redneck too.
Welcome to the Log Talk Podcast, brought to you by Pert Near Outdoors. All right, we're recording.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
We're at the Swampy River Bottom Arrow Fest.
Yeah.
Down here in Wellsville.
Home of Sasquatch.
Sasquatch, not swampy.
It's, well, I mean,
It will
rumor
be.
has it Sasquatch is like swamps, so
Yep.
they get squatchy.
I got here early helping set up with the Huntworks. By the way, their booth is right across from us. I'm supposed to be working that, and I'm over here talking
Yeah, I
to
know.
you. But
I'm not surprised.
they're hard-working some bitches.
Yeah,
Tim's over there.
Tim looks like he's got it under control.
Yeah. But I heard some tree knocking when I first got here.
Did you?
I'm just saying.
I mean, squatchy. It's squatchy. So we're just kind of kicking it off. We're going to do a bunch of podcasts here, just quick hitters. There's a lot of vendors. So this is what. So we got Glenn with us.
Yes, Glenn Smith. I'm the treasurer for our local NDA branch.
Thanks for being here. We
No problem.
we enjoy working with this group. Anybody who's been following along with us for a few years knows that we've been doing a ton with Sean and with your group, and we were down here for your last quarterly seminar and did a presentation. That was a lot of fun.
When was that? That was in April, early April.
That was early April. Yeah, it was early April. Yeah, it was a great time. So I'm excited to be down here. I missed last year, so this is the third year of doing this.
Yes.
So it's progressively grown each year. I think this year you guys are expecting pretty good attendance this afternoon.
Yes, we had 34 prepaid archery shooters this year. Last year was 25. The first year was 14. So
yes, it's growing.
Going that way.
Yeah,
Growing great.
Then we've had a lot of walk-ins. So,
yeah, I mean the parking lot across the way is in the field is pretty full. I was pretty excited to getting here at 10:30 in the morning and seeing that many people already here and people out shooting. It's starting to rain now. We haven't had rain in 10 or 12 days.
Yeah.
And in May to not have rain is totally out of the ordinary, but it's bound to happen.
Last year was 85 and humid.
It was
Humid,
hot.
it was hot.
Yeah. We haven't had any humidity at all yet this year.
No.
It's wild for this time of year in May, but we haven't had any of this. We haven't had any precipitation, so.
Right.
We actually needed the rain.
Yeah.
We need it bad. It's very dry out.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate it has to come on your event because after this, there's no rain again for 10 days, they're saying.
Right. Yeah, I was watching the forecast all week, and I was like, poor Sean, because I know how much he puts into this and how much he stresses about how everything goes off just right, and it's fine. Everybody's here. We're all going to have a good time. I think this. Looking at there's a front coming through, and I think once we get on the backside of it, this afternoon should be beautiful. So,
is the tent the big top tent there? Is that new this year?
We got what is it 80 by 40 tent. Everything's inside this year. That was something new that we wanted to keep everybody together. Standing room only, so everything's under cover.
Yeah.
You know, you can. Once you get in there, you're dry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that I was pretty happy to see the post on social media last night with that up. I was like, yeah, that's good.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the event, about what you guys have got going on here. I mean,
well, we so this event, I mean, kind of a prelude to the event is our seminar series. So we had 2 in the spring, and then we have 1 more in September, end of 20th or 28th of September. And then we have this, and we got we got well over 100, 120 man hours in preparing the course. Just this year alone, we put in 3 bridges. We hauled 9 telephone poles out in there. 3 were 25 footers, 3 15 footers, and 3 10 footers.
Wow.
And we put bridges in over areas that were really marshy or
I saw that on
just a
Instagram. They
drainage
had some
ditch.
pictures of you guys
Yeah.
building bridges over these.
And we had to make them wide enough so we can get an ATV across so that we have full access for any emergencies or whatever that might come up to get our
Good
ATVs
thought,
around.
A lot of work
Then
just
it was
in
a matter
that.
of just selecting where each shot was and marking things, taking out stumps, just a ton of time.
Yeah.
And of
it's
course, it's
neat.
all volunteer.
Yeah,
so.
and it's neat the relationship you guys have here with the Rod and Gun Club for them to allow you guys to do this here and really kind of have free reign of the property to be able to go out and blast your own trails and do that sort of stuff. That's cool.
Right.
And to have an archery shoot like this, what you guys are kind of building here, there isn't a ton of these that go on in our area. There's kind of these destination archery shoots have become popular with the Total Archery Challenge, and there's some other ones out there too that people get all geeked up about.
So folks, I don't know if it's the last group, but there's some coming off the course now.
People really, our reviews on this are really good. They really enjoy our course. Every year it's a little different. So the other big thing is this year we bought 15 of our own targets. Before we were borrowing them, so we have our own.
I was going to put that.
3D
We could
targets
slide
in
that down
as
and put it
well.
right underneath the table, right?
Yeah. Hold on
Hi,
one second.
Ben.
We got a little rain coming here.
We don't need to damage our
Hi, Ben.
investment.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to a good time today. We're gonna get a bunch of people to jump on, and
The raffle will be starting about an hour.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
food's ready now. We got Stern's barbecue chicken and hot dogs.
Beautiful.
Everything else?
Can't
Burgers.
ask.
Yeah,
So-
burgers.
I don't think there's burgers.
No.
I asked if they caught fish, if we could have fish fries, and they said, well, if you pick the bones out.
Yeah. There's some small bluegills. It'd be an awful lot of work for a little bit of meat.
But bluegills do taste
They
good.
are good.
So,
Somebody's got to put the work in. No, there's
Exactly.
no way around that.
Well, the girl told me when she gave me the wristband, she said the orange one's for the chicken barbecue, and after you eat your chicken
Just one
barbecue,
each.
she's going to cut that off. But after that, you can have all the burgers and hots you want. So,
She said burgers.
yeah, if they don't have burgers, you better have them run and get some.
hot dogs, as far as I know, that's it.
I don't eat tube steaks. It's not me.
We would have venison, but you guys didn't bring it.
I know, we let
were
you down.
I was trying to avoid that conversation.
Point well taken.
Yeah. Yeah, Glenn
Couldn't dodge that bullet.
Glenn was here when we did our seminar back in April, and I brought down some of our venison sausage, and you were a big fan.
Yeah, yep.
You're a big fan.
We'll bring some in September for
Sure.
the final series.
You guys are coming to that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as I'm not out of town for some reason, I will
Great.
definitely be here. So
Good.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, as long as you bring venison, you'll be welcome.
All right.
Seems to be the resounding
shots
theme,
across
doesn't
the
it?
bow. I get it. I get it.
So, did you guys bring your bows to shoot the course at all?
No,
We didn't.
I haven't touched my bow since archery season ended, so I didn't feel like coming down
Same
here.
with us, but we
Yeah.
went out, shot him, and then this morning woke up with a sore shoulder. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did I do yesterday? Like,
I shot my bow.
shot my bow 10
Yeah.
times.
My excuse is that all I had was my good hunting arrows. I didn't want to
Yeah, me
be
too.
zinging them first day out, with an,
Right.
But next year I promise I'll practice ahead and I'll participate in the shoot.
I'm not promising
It
nothing.
looks like a nice course. I think it'd be fun to shoot.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they'd leave it up for a couple of days. at
I
least
know. I
for
was going
us
to ask you,
members
do
to
they
get
leave
out.
that up so that folks can shoot it?
Yeah, they take it down. The big concern is somebody will take them or vandalize them or something like that.
Where do all the targets come from?
We own them now. We
Oh,
own
you guys
15
own.
of them. We bought 15, and then some are borrowed. Previously, we borrowed them all.
Okay.
So, but right now we own 15.
Well, I can
think
see
every
you
year
wanting to
we'll
pick
buy
them up
more.
and bring them in and
Yes.
safely store them because that's a lot of money you got tied up in targets.
Yeah, you get them rained on. You get them. Yeah, it's not good for them to be out in the weather like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are higher quality targets too. So they should last for years.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yep.
Take good care of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, thanks for jumping on with us, Sean.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Thanks.
So.
Hi, Ben Williams.
Billy?
Can't drink all day if you don't start before noon, right?
Nope, that's right.
Just cracked our first bush. How are you, buddy?
Good.
I feel like the last like 4 months have been the busiest 4 months of my life, and you've been busy.
Mm-hmm.
You're, how's your podcast going?
It's good. It's good. Viewers dipped a little bit. I mean, on the whitetail side of it anyway, but
It's a tough time of year, man. Like, everybody's busy. I mean, you and I are thinking about deer, but a lot of people are not hooked on that. That's what I found with the podcast is it just died off.
Yep.
In the spring, in the summer, but then as soon as you get like mid-July, all of a sudden people start thinking about deer hunting again. It's kind of funny the way that works.
Yeah, no, we've been talking turkey, and Nate wants to go on this upcoming week and wants to try to go live from the boat.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll see.
Doing what?
Fishing.
What type of fishing?
Thinking depends on, what's going that day, but you think about getting hooked up with Jesse, who's been on, which everybody loves when Jesse's
He's
on.
pretty entertaining.
He's a character.
Yeah, he's a character, all right.
Yeah, so he's real good at jigging for lake trout.
So what lake?
Cayuga.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah, Cayuga, and then maybe depends how that's going or whatever, and see if maybe we can get in some largemouth and smallmouth.
Yeah, it's getting to be that time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of, I just don't have the time, but this spring, this May has been freaking perfect if you want to get out on the lakes.
Oh, yeah.
Like on the big lakes, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. It's just like it hasn't been terribly windy. The temperatures have been good. It hasn't been raining. Like
other than today.
Yeah, right. Other than today. But what a great month of May, really. I mean, hopefully for the turkeys, it's been good on them as far as it's been warm and dry, which typically is good for them sitting on their nests.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I've been wondering, I don't know if you guys if you pay much attention to this or, I think this is an interesting topic, I saw a lot of the farmers this week were taking their first cutting of hay.
Yep, off the alfalfa fields and stuff, yep.
Which is a little bit earlier than normal, maybe a couple, 2-3 weeks, 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah, 1st of June usually.
But last year I was very attentive watching and seeing if, you could drive by a field that was just cut within an hour or two, and there'll be turkey vultures circling the field, and it's either, turkeys that got ran over or fawns that got ran over.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any of that. Mm-hmm. And on our property, I think I got my first picture of a fawn up at camp last night with a doe.
Yep.
But I haven't seen any dropping yet. Have you?
I heard one the other morning mewing away, but
oh, really?
Yep. Must have got separated from mom, or I don't know, just up squeaking a little bit. But no, that was what would that have been? Last Saturday or last Sunday.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're out there, but no, with the turkeys, I think with hatch will be pretty good. The tough part is when you get those early rains when they haven't started setting on the nest yet.
Yeah.
Because they'll lay them all, and then they won't start cooking them until they're all out, so to speak. So, and then that halfway point when they're laying a nest and then it gets wet, what that does washes that coating off, and she'll usually abandon it.
Oh, okay.
Because, washes that protective coating off of it.
Just like a chicken egg.
Yeah, same idea. And then, rotating over, takes their body that much more time to start gearing back up for eggs, or they'll have a smaller clutch in that second nest too. So,
yeah.
I got one. She'll be hatching them out probably this week. The one that's in our pen,
Turkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. She's got 13 under her, so we'll see how many make. But yeah, it looked pretty good. Wasn't too muddy and too stuff like that getting on the eggs, so I got good hopes for it. And then we had 7 come out of the incubator, but
nice.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you end up doing with those toms? You were saying that they were getting a little frisky? Did you have to take care of a couple of them?
A couple went to freezer camp.
Yeah, freezer camp. Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. Do you do all that yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use the cone method, or how do you do the deed?
410 shotgun.
Yeah.
Take them for one little last stroll out in the back pasture, and dude, I think that's more humane than sticking their head in the cone and trying
brutal.
To lop it off or something.
I don't know how people do that. I guess if you're going at a factory pace, you're trying to do 200 birds in a day or something, I can understand that. But that's brutal, man.
Yeah, I thought it's no different than harvesting a wild bird. You just take them out back and
hey, buddy, let's go for a walk.
I think that's the most humane way to do it. I think, in my opinion, with turkeys especially.
Take them to the train station, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, that's all good. I wish I could keep them all, but I can only keep so many in the pen. and I don't have the money to expand and make another enclosure for them. So, but yeah, we still got the one tom and got the 2 jakes. They get along pretty good, and then we got five hen turkeys right now.
Yeah.
Plus the 7 that were just born out of the incubator, and then we'll see how many come out of the nest from the other hen. But
Nice.
could have maybe 20 little ones running around.
You'll find out soon enough, right?
Yeah, and I want to get on them and get them sold early.
Yeah.
You know, that's the easiest time to sell them. That's when they're the cutest too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was open to selling the birds right before Thanksgiving there, and just there wasn't any takers with it, which I thought, $25 a bird wasn't bad at all.
No, I wouldn't think so.
For free range frickin' birds. But hey, who knows? Next year I'll probably get calls from people. Hey, you got any turkeys?
Yeah. No, you missed your chance, buddy. The market was hot, and now I'm not going that direction.
Yeah, but no, I usually just breast them out, drum them out, and then I take I call them the turkey back straps. There's little medallions above the hips and the back of the shoulders.
Okay.
They come out like little medallions.
Yeah.
And I throw that in with the breast meat, and you can do turkey nuggets. You could do turkey and rice. I mean, whatever way you want to cook them. And then the legs, I do those in the crock pot.
Yeah.
So.
Did you? Are you a big fan of the turkey nuggets? Is that a?
Yeah, I mean that, or strips or whatever, and batter them up, and you can fry them or whatever way you want to do it. We baked it before too, bake it in strips. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, whatever your flavor is.
Turkey nuggets are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I've heard about that, and I was like, I'm gonna try that. And it's like, yeah, you take a turkey breast, you can make a whole shitload of turkey nuggets out of it, and the kids like it, so it's definitely a good way to go. I have a turkey breast in the freezer yet. I need to get at it and cook that up.
Yeah, and then a lot of guys leave the legs because they say they're too tough. But dude, I do them in the crock pot, barbecue and a little bit of Sprite and vinegar and stuff like that, and just do them all day low and slow. Yeah. And it comes out like, you got to pull the tendon out and the bone and that stuff, but that pulls out easy, and you just shred it like, pulled pork, but it's pulled turkey, and do a nice Kaiser roll, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Can't beat that. No. That's what it's all about, is feeding them.
Yep.
How'd your bird, was it an exciting hunt, quick hitter, or what happened?
That was one heck of a morning. Had birds gobbling not too far from us, and then we had a couple way off that morning, and had a couple hens that ended up being roosted right up behind us, and then that bird sounded off, and the hens flew down in our decoys. They hung around 15, 20 minutes milling around and stuff like that, kind of set up on the inside corner of a field by a couple dust bowls, where they dust themselves and stuff like that. Just a nice social spot, if you find that with your scouting, that's a hot spot I found over the years. I've killed a lot of birds at dust bowls. And we were sitting there, and then those hens went right to the tom gobbling. And then he shut up, and then Nate got antsy, because Nate was with me. And he's like, dude, he's got to be right over there. So we snuck over the hill and kind of peeked, and sure enough, he's way out in the middle of this field, like 250, 300 yards out, just strutting with the 2 hens, loafing. And Nate's like, all right, I'm going to go back and grab a decoy, and we're gonna set up here and call him back here. I was like, if you think so, sure. So we try that, call the hens over the hill, and he's like, all right. And they skirted us about 75 yards. And once they got to the top of the roll on the hill there from where we saw him, sure enough, that time he saw that Jake decoy that was still set up where we originally set up. So he runs down, gets that fat walk going, and runs right down to the Jake. And Nate's like, oh, man, we should have just stayed put. I was like, yeah, we should have. So it didn't end up making it work with that bird, but he beat the snot out of the Jake and, had some turkey juices left on the hen decoy, and they left. So then we were just hanging out, did a walk around, a couple calls, stuff like that. Then came back to that dust bowl at, I think it was like 10 o'clock, something like that. They're sitting there on our butts, got our backsides handed to us, and just sitting there. Not even up against the trees. We were sitting there, just sitting on the edge of the field in maybe 6-inch tall grass, just sitting there. And had a cigar and having a coffee and stuff like that, just hanging out. And then Nate looks over to me. He's like, "Is that redhead?" We look across the field. And sure enough, here comes a bird from across the field, coming off the logging road. And he sees them decoys, and he just starts kind of fast running too. And I'm just like, "What the heck?" I was like, and like I said, we we ended up whiffing on that bird that was in the decoys that morning. So we were down to 1 round, and we laid right on our backs, laid flat on our backs.
Oh my God.
10, 12 yards from the decoy or whatever, just laid right on our backs in the grass. And Nate's like, you got any ammo left?
Oh my God.
I'm like, dude, I got 1 round. He's like, and we could see the bird. He's within 100 yards now. He's like, well, I guess you're shooting him. And I'm sitting on my back like I'm in a goose layout blind. I could see him over my toes, just sitting there laying on my back, shotgun on my chest.
God,
and I'm
dude.
like, he comes right in, struts right up to that Jake decoy, starts doing that fight and purr right by the decoy. And as soon as he did that fight and purr, another bird gobbles, and here comes another tom running across the field. And I'm just like, oh, jeez. And Nate's like, well, you better shoot this one. He's like, you better shoot that one before this one comes in too. And I was like, when? He's like, kill him
Now.
So I sat up, boom.
No way, you just sat right up and
Yeah,
whacked
just
him?
sat right up on my butt and just boom. Folded him right there in the spread. And then the other bird takes off running. I'm just like, how do you make that up?
That is great, man.
And we hadn't called in 4 hours from that spot. But
yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people say just sitting tight. The turkeys know they know that something was there.
yeah, absolutely.
Even other birds that were around, you know, they hear that. And
that and being set up on
what a cool story.
a social spot like that with, you know, the dust bowls,
Yeah.
places that they're going to loaf and hang. And that field's kind of nice with the way the sun goes across it, and this is kind of getting a little bit deeper into it. But we were still set up that whole morning until noon. You were good with the sun at your back. You're sitting in the shadow. You're sitting, not with that sun blasting on you. And that's part of the reason why I think they like to loaf in that corner, because no matter what, the way that corner is with the sun during the day, they can find some shade in that corner.
Nice.
So it's just a good spot. And Nate's just like, hey, man, he's like, we'll just come here. We'll just call in the morning and just bring damn breakfast with us and just hang out and just wait. Because we got onto birds there opening day, too. Same thing. We were down in the woods coming up toward that dust bowl, and we struck a couple birds. Might have been one of the ones that I ended up killing. But yeah, those social spots, dude, and that goes back to your scouting. You gotta find those dust bowls, find those scratchings in the woods,
It's a fun way to it's just right. I don't have the time right now, but I look forward to with the kids, Brian took both of his girls out with him, and that I think it's the only time he's been out turkey hunting this year. Mm-hmm. He's just been busy too, but he went out with both of his girls. It was like 8:30 in the morning. They started walking, they got out behind the farm.
Yep.
And made a couple calls and heard a bird gobble, and I'd like to get him on here to tell the story, but it's like to not bust your back to get up at 4 a.m. and try to get them off the roost. Like if you know your property, where the birds typically are. Like you don't need to kill yourself to go out there.
Yeah.
From 4:30 in the morning till 7. You could go out there at 8 o'clock or from 8 to noon and have kind of a nice relaxing hunt and just wait for them to come to you.
Right.
I've liked that style of hunting myself personally because I don't know, I get up early every morning, but like my brother, I think he's hunted almost every morning.
Yeah.
He's maybe taken 2 or 3 mornings off, but he'll hunt until 7, call it quits, and then he goes to work for the day. Like I don't know how he's doing it. Like it's one thing
That's
to
a
get
long
up early,
day.
but to get up and hunt and then like that's a lot.
Yeah.
But
So I call that that second shift. Like after 8:30, 9 o'clock, I've struck a lot of birds and killed a lot of birds after 9 o'clock.
yeah.
I think it's because some of those hens that are, laying eggs but not sitting on the nest yet, they're still going to want to go get bred, so they can obviously have fertilized eggs for their nest. And then once the hens kind of slip off to go lay their egg, or mind the nest or whatever they're doing, loaf by their nest, those birds get lonely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can kill a lot of birds sleeping in, or like I said, if you don't have one, that you roosted up the night before or something like that where where he's at, a lot of times I'll just go out and get there at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then that way just listen in the morning and then kind of use, my scouting or, previous knowledge of the property to know where to go set up or where he might be going that day.
Right.
And kind of, hunt him like that. I love killing them off the roost, don't get me wrong.
That's what
a
everybody
blast to have them
dreams.
fly down right in front of you.
But the reality of that always happening is it's different. Like shooting them off the roost is unless you've got the time
Mm-hmm.
and you're literally putting them in bed every night and knowing exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
It's not exactly the most efficient way to do it. So.
Yeah, and like I said, you got to be in there early, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, right now with the leaf green up, you got a little bit more of a shelter going into the woods. You got a little bit, but like early May, dude, it is. And we hit that full moon right around early May, and it was bright.
Bright, yeah. Jimmy went. I think it was the second week. He and Mike went out in the morning one day, and this farm that they went to, it's basically just it's all field, and there's like a hedgerow.
Yep.
And I guess there's a couple like ladder stands from people that owned the property before who had access to it or whatever. So Jimmy climbed up on one of the ladder stands, and it was dark, and the sun starts coming up, and there's a freaking hen in the tree next to him, and she just sat there. He said that she sat there the whole time and just watched him.
Yep.
She didn't move. The other birds pitched off that were in trees they pitched off and went and did their thing, and she just sat there. Once he got down out of the stand and went to go walk back to the truck to call it a day, she pitched down and went the other way.
Yep.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, and I've had that happen too, where you get in on them, maybe not even knowing you're getting in that close to them to go into a spot to listen or whatever too, and that's why I like listening from usually where I park.
Yeah.
A lot of times. That way I don't get in there because you could slip right in on them, and if it's just that right amount of time where they see you, they know you're there, like they won't make a peep.
Yeah.
You might see them up on the limb or something like that, and I've had birds stay right on the limb till 8, 9 o'clock up above me. Like you said, the bird only flew down after he left.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, every bird's different. I mean, you think you got it figured out on how the best way is to kill them, and then next thing you know, you're sitting there on your butt, and you just happen to have one come strolling into the field, and you shoot them because you only got one round left.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a hunt you guys will never forget.
No, that was great.
It's awesome. I want to try to grab a few people here to get some others on. Maybe I'll see if these guys next to us, the Belmont Archery, if they want to jump on.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to go hit the head real quick, and then we'll grab a few. I think he said they're going to start their actual, like, raffle stuff around, like, 12:30 or something. So
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to pack in as many of these quick.